In 1968, a family was murdered in their vacation home in Michigan. Who would want to take the lives of this normal family of 6? But as the investigation heated up, a suspect seemed to fall into their laps. This is the Robeson family murders. Hi guys, I'm back again today with another case. I am Sarah. I am your true crime best friend. And today we have an older case from the 60s, but it is crazy and it is very interesting. So I know you guys will like it. I'm so happy that you're here. If you would like to keep seeing my videos, you can follow me here on YouTube as well as over on TikTok. So yeah, let's jump in and get started. July 22nd, 1968, a beautiful log cabin nestled on the shore of Lake Michigan. Neighbors of the cabin were having a bridge party. Yes, that's a party where you go and play the game bridge. I had to look that up. And everyone began smelling a foul odor. The bridge playing partygoers called Monty Bliss, the caretaker. He, too, smelled the awful stench. The man whose home that it happened to be was Richard Robeson. The family had ran into Monty when they had arrived only a day ago. They told Monty condolences for the loss of his son that was killed earlier in the week due to a car accident, and they told him that they were going to be away for a few days and that they planned on staying the session or the season there in their getaway cabin. So when they called Monty, he figured it was a dead animal that had wandered into this idyllic family summer home and passed. He tried to open the cabin, but the doors were locked, so he used his keys. As he walked the home, he observed that one of the windows of the home was shattered. As he continued walking the home, he found the 6 members of the Robeson family, all deceased. This brought a weird and wild investigation to a small, picture-perfect home in Goodhart, Michigan. So let's talk about who the Robeson family is. Now, I have heard this name pronounced Robison, and I've heard it pronounced Robeson. I think the pronunciation is Robeson. That is what I saw when I looked it up. But just be aware that I may be pronouncing it wrong, and I apologize for that. So Richard, who is the father, is 42, and Shirley is 40. Their kids, Richie is 19, Gary, 16, Randall, 12, and their daughter, Susan, 7. They all lived pretty normal lives up to this point. They were an upper to middle class family who had a home in Lathrop Village, Michigan, and this was their vacation home here in Goodhart. Richard, who also went by Dick Robeson, worked in advertising and was a publisher of an art magazine in Detroit. The oldest son, Richard Jr., was a student at Eastern Michigan University. They were described as a normal working class family. The children just being kids. They had no idea what a horrific crime would come to their door that night. The cabin was a beautiful log and stone cabin. It was down a twisting road half a mile west of Lakeshore Drive. Its front door set about 100 feet away from Lake Michigan. This would be a great setting for summer with the children swimming, fishing, and playing. But on July 22nd, the cabin was silent. The scene was straight out of a scary movie. A sign on the door said, "Be back, 7/10. 2 cars used by the family sat parked outside, gathering dust. Inside was a gory mass murder scene. The bodies were in an advanced state of decomposition. It was later found that the bodies had been laying there for about a month. This is a long, long time. They were murdered towards the end of June and not found till the end of July. This was in extreme heat. The forensic and investigators had to wear gas masks because of the horrendous smell. This was the description of the scene given by Michigan State Police. Shirley was found first. She lay on her stomach on the floor in the southeast section of the living room, with a plaid blanket covering her body from the knees up. She was shot once in the head. A .25 caliber slug was found in the first autopsy. Dick was found laying on the floor in the hallway over the hot air register. He was shot once in the head with also this same caliber slug, and it was found in the first autopsy. He also had skull fractures and evidence of blunt force trauma. During the second autopsy, a .22 caliber slug was also found. Investigators believed he initially was shot in the chest with the .22 rifle, then in the head with the pistol. Richard, who was 19, the son, was found in the northwest bedroom of the structure, partially in the hallway and partially in the bedroom. His legs were extended out into the hallway. The couple's oldest son had multiple gunshot wounds to the head linked to a .25 caliber. Gary, 16, their son, was found laying on his back along the east wall of the northwest bedroom. The teen had 2 gunshot wounds to the head, both linked to a .25 caliber. The second autopsy found a .22 caliber, and evidence said that he was also shot in the back. Randall, who was 12, was found laying on top of his father. A lavender-colored rug from his shoulders down to his buttocks. The youngest son's cause of death is listed as a gunshot wound to the head. No bullet was recovered during the autopsy. Susan, who was 7, was found laying on her back in the hallway at the south side of her father. The couple's youngest child was shot in the face. A .25 slug was recovered from her clothing. She also had skull fracture, possible from a claw hammer found at the scene. So at first I was looking at this and I was confused. It had to be more than one killer, right? Because there was more than one weapon. They had to incapacitate so many, grown men and almost grown men. How was this even possible? But investigators quickly tied the broken window to a theory of the murders. Investigators determined someone had shot through the cottage window with a rifle, killing Dick Robison and then one of the boys. The others were chased down and shot one by one. The killer closed the curtains, locked the door, turned up the heat, and then tried to cover the bullet holes in the window with a piece of cardboard. This family was viciously and quickly attacked, and they didn't even see it coming. There were so many roadblocks in this investigation. They had a month pass by, and the evidence was tainted by excessive heat and time. So police began talking to the community to see if anyone had seen anything at the end of June around the property. There were people who saw the family, such as a tree trimmer. He didn't believe anything was out of the normal. He was the last to see the family alive. Officers talked to other neighbors who remembered hearing raised voices and rapid gunshots coming from the property around that time, but they assumed someone was shooting seagulls on the beach. So here they were. What could possess someone to kill an entire family? But not only that, hit a young girl with a claw hammer. The family had no enemies, so what could have happened here? They had to look even closer. This crime seemed personal, and so they began looking at everyone the family knew from the inside out. The lake owner, Monty, was looked at first because he discovered the bodies, but he was quickly found to be innocent. Neighbors were vetted, but no gun match, and all had alibis. But as they looked closer to the family, a lead began to reveal itself. As they began interviewing people at Dick's company, they realized that he was involved in some under-the-table stuff. That wasn't a huge red flag. The biggest red flag of all was Joseph Scalora III, one of Dick's employees. He was placed in charge of the business while Dick was on vacation. It was also discovered that he had embezzled money from the business while Dick was away. This screamed trouble, especially because Dick and Joseph talked 17 times on the phone the day of the murders. Was it that Dick found out about his sleazy business partner? So investigators went on the hunt and they dug deep. And what they found was not good for Joseph. So as you remember, the Robesons were killed with a .22 caliber rifle and a .25 caliber Beretta. Detectives found out that Joseph purchased two .25 caliber Berettas, one of which he gave to Dick. Joseph was collected and tested, but it was ruled out as the murder weapon. Dick's Beretta, however, was missing and couldn't be tested. Missing? Where is it, Joseph? Joseph's alibi at the time of the murders couldn't be confirmed, and he failed 2 lie detector tests. And a third one came back inconclusive. Now, as we know in true crime, lie detectors are a sham. But 3, come on. Also, a bloody shoe print was found at the crime scene. It was found to be a perfect match for Joseph's boots. Although his boots were brand new, investigators found that he was known to purchase 2 of the same items. This led them to believe that the other pair was the one that he used during the Robeson murders. So they believed, we got him. So they worked their case, and a year later they were ready. But not so fast. The prosecutor turned them down. Everything against Joseph was circumstantial. No case. So it sat there for a while and went cold, leaving this terrifying murder of a family to go unsolved. This case waited for long years, and a new prosecutor was elected, and the Robeson case was reopened. This time, the new prosecutor agreed to charge Joseph, but it was too late. Before a warrant was issued, he was found deceased in his office of an apparent suicide. A note was left, and in it, Joseph wrote that he was a liar and a cheat, but he insisted that he was innocent when it came to the Robeson murders. Although investigators had other suspects, they strongly believed that Joseph was the one who did this. As a result of his suicide, the case couldn't officially be closed, and it remains categorized as an unsolved and inactive up to this very day. So police still try to follow up on leads, but what do? You can't try a dead man in court, and there are no other suspects that look good for this. The case will probably go down in history as unsolved forever. So what do you think about the Robeson family murders? What do you think should happen now, and what should we do going forward? Thank you all for joining me today to talk about this case. It's one of the ones that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I will see you guys next time. I am so glad that you're here. Please click that subscribe button and also follow me here on TikTok. I'll see you guys next time with another case. Bye.